The Wizard's Watermelon. There was a wizard who was only a part-time wizard and didn't really know much true magic. His name was Raphael, and he was rather young for a wizard at only about 300 years old. Raphael was quite typical looking and preferred to practice magic dressed either as a rock star or sometimes as a railroad conductor, according to his mood. Raphael lived in a small magical village deep in the mountains and hidden from everyone to protect the villagers from curious people who wanted their secrets. Most of the villagers made their homes inside big mushroom-like houses, which were stronger than they looked and had the added advantage of being edible if you were hungry. Of course, Raphael was not the only wizard here, but he made a nice living casting spells for things like successful dinner parties, fireworks displays, or sometimes selling recipes for his favorite magical dishes. If he had a specialty, it was food, and some of his most popular magic dishes included things like Happy Feeling stew, Get Up and Go pancakes, and Mass Appeal popularity casserole. One day, a farmer came to the village, seeking a particular type of magical assistance. He had traveled many days to find this special place, where rumor said you could get help with problems. When he told the villagers what he needed, they referred him to Raphael, because Raphael was known to specialize in food magic, and the farmer's request, of course, had to do with his crops. He found Raphael tending his flower garden behind his mushroom house. "Are you Raphael the magician?" the farmer asked. "I am not a magician, sir," Raphael responded. "I am a wizard. If you are looking for a magician, you have come to the wrong place." "Well, a wizard would be fine," the man said. He then began to explain his request. The farmer's home was far away in another part of the land, where he had many acres planted entirely in watermelon. His family had always raised watermelons, and every year at the county fair, there was a contest for the biggest watermelon. The farmer was usually the winner and could take home a nice prize, but recently a group of trolls had taken up the habit of raiding his field and stealing his prize watermelon. "I don't do trolls," Raphael said. "Oh no, I can handle the trolls," the farmer answered. "What I want is a spell to grow a giant watermelon so I can win the contest at the county fair. The trolls have taken my biggest and best melons." "Magic doesn't work well if you're using it to cheat in a contest," Raphael said. "If you wanted a giant watermelon for your family to eat or to give away, it might be better." But the farmer explained that his wife was sick, and he was counting on the prize money from the county fair to buy her medicine she needed to get better. So Raphael agreed to take the job. He would be paid with a lifetime supply of normal-sized watermelon from the man's fields, and they shook hands on the deal. After many days' travel by horseback, the two partners arrived in the lowlands, where the ancient rivers had carved out thousands of acres of flat, open, fertile ground that was ideal for farming. There was no city here, only farmhouses separated by many miles, with little roads between for visiting. The farmer took Raphael into his home and fed him a nice watermelon soup. His sick wife was in bed in the other room. "This is Raphael, dear," the farmer told his wife. "He will help us grow a giant watermelon to win the prize at the county fair." Raphael bowed almost to the ground as he introduced himself. "A pleasure to meet you, madame." But the woman was quite weak from her sickness and could only reply, "Welcome, welcome," from her bed. Now, at the same time, 3 big fat trolls were carrying off the farmer's watermelons again. down at the farthest corner of his fields where they knew they wouldn't be caught. They collected as many watermelons as they could carry in a big sack. "That stupid farmer will never catch us," said Tick, the leader. "We can eat all the watermelons we want for free, and he does all the work." Later, the farmer and Raphael surveyed the damage. "You see," the farmer said, "they've been at it again. These would have been some very nice big watermelon, and those trolls took them away before they were even ripe." "I don't do trolls," Raphael said. "My job is a prize winner for the fair. Let me see your seed stock." So the farmer showed Raphael his barrels full of tiny black watermelon seeds, back at the farmhouse in the barn. "All I need is one," Raphael said, and he sifted through the barrel until he found a very healthy-looking black seed, about the size and shape of the fingernail on your little finger. It wouldn't be right to describe exactly how Raphael then worked his magic on that seed, but in the privacy of a workroom in the barn, he extracted the essential DNA information, multiplied the enthusiasm of the growth gene, provided appropriate supervigorous health and size limits, and zapped the seed with quick grow energy. This is all very technical, but wizards know how it works, and Raphael was not unskilled. By the time he had completed his work, he was sure the seed would produce an enormous watermelon. So the farmer carefully planted the seed the next day in good soil and provided water and plenty of sunlight. Raphael spent the following week reading a wizard's magazine he had brought along and enjoying more of the farmer's hospitality, which included watermelon stew, watermelon cakes, and mashed watermelon. The farmer's wife was still quite sick, but her husband kept her informed on the progress of the seed. "It's growing at an incredible rate," he told her. "It's not been a week yet, and already I have 3 watermelons the size of automobiles. We're sure to win the contest at the county fair, and with the prize money, I can get you the medicine you need." "But what about the trolls?" his wife asked, taking some watermelon sugar and sitting up in bed. "They won't get these," the farmer assured her. Within another week, the 3 watermelons were now quite large, about the size of a house. But the same 3 trolls, who were very greedy and spied on the farmer, had plans to steal them. "Why take the small ones?" Tick told the other 2 trolls. They lived together in a dark and cold cave beyond the river at the foot of the mountains. Although they would usually eat small animals, insects, and lizards, the 3 of them were quite happy to go on feasting on the farmer's sweet melons for as long as they could get away with it. "Let's take the big ones and we won't have to go back for a year," said Tick. "We can cut them up into pieces and put them in a wagon." "What about the farmer?" one of the other trolls said, grinning like an ape and scratching his fat belly. "We'll do it when he's asleep," said Tick. And the 3 of them began to bounce around and clap their hands with glee. Raphael was asleep in the barn that night after packing his things for the journey back home to the wizard's mushroom village. His magic had been successful, and he had satisfied his part of the bargain. He was trying to sleep when he could just hear a smashing and hacking noise coming from the nearby fields. Curious, he went to see what it was by the light of a hand lantern. Lifting the small lantern high, he could now see in the circle of light the 3 trolls working in the dark. They had a wagon pulled by a sick-looking mule, and they had by now finished cutting up the first giant watermelon and packing the pieces in the wagon. The second giant watermelon was half gone already. "Stop!" Raphael cried loudly. "Leave those watermelons alone." "Get him!" ordered Tick. The 2 other trolls dropped their tools and charged at Raphael, roaring. Now, Raphael had already told the farmer that he had no magic against trolls, but of course he didn't want to see his work ruined either. Trolls are ugly, strong, stupid, and mean, and Raphael couldn't this in mind, he did the next best thing and ran for his life. A dog in the barnyard now began yapping loudly as the trolls chased Raphael. The wizard reached a small shed and grabbed a pitchfork to defend himself. At this point, the farmer came rushing out of the house, hitching up his pants and carrying a double-barreled shotgun rifle. "What's going on?" he shouted, but he could then see for himself. The three trolls had surrounded Raphael, who poked at them with the pitchfork. "Trolls!" shouted Raphael. The farmer cocked the rifle, took aim at one troll, and let loose a terrible blast of smoke, fire, and shotgun pellets. The first shot hit Tick square in the buttock. "Ah!" Tick squealed in pain. Now the farmer fired again, and a third time, as the trolls screamed and ran for their lives down the road that led to the farmhouse, with the dog chasing them. "That'll teach them," the farmer said. "Thank you so much," Raphael said. "I thought sure they'd kill me." "Quick now, onto your horse," the farmer said. "We can still catch them." So the two of them quickly were on horseback and grabbed another rifle and a lantern and galloped down the road after the trolls. They chased them through the night and caught them twice in the little creeks under the stars, wounding all three of them severely with rifle blasts. The trolls screamed in pain at their wounds and ran away even faster, lost into the darkness of the night. After that, the farmer was never bothered by those same cowardly trolls. He still had at least one giant watermelon left, and he took it to the county fair on a big cart. The watermelon was easily the winner, and he used the prize money to buy his wife the medicine she needed. Raphael returned home, and for years after that he would see the farmer occasionally to be supplied with fresh, normal-sized watermelons, which was his pay. "I'm not so fond of wizards, but in this case I think it worked out well," said the farmer's wife, now sitting in the sun on the front porch of their house and feeling much better. She was getting stronger every day and was well enough now to begin helping her husband with his work around the farm. "He's good with watermelons, but not so great with trolls," the farmer said. And they both laughed, which was sweeter to them than watermelon sugar.